revelations, but previously denied any involvement in the Ukrainian crisis. I'm now joined live by foreign policy expert Daniel McAdams to speak more on the subject. Hello to you. What are your thoughts on these recent revelations? Why would the government in Kiev involve foreign mercenaries?
Well, I think you have a lot of Kiev-appointed oligarchs in the East who are very, very wealthy, and they have an interest in trying to quell this unrest. What's interesting about these last two stories we've seen about U.S. involvement is they've both come from major German newspapers, and it makes you wonder whether the Germans are not getting nervous that the U.S. is pushing this too far. We saw, for example, last week in Bild, a story that dozens of CIA officers were involved in helping put down the unrest in the East, and now we've seen this other story in a German paper. So I think under the surface you're seeing a lot of very concerned German people and German businessmen for what's happening.
What impact could the presence of these private contractors affect the situation in Ukraine, Daniel?
Well, I think we've seen a change in the tactics of you wouldn't call them military, because every picture that I've seen, they look like some sort of ragtag militia, very violent. But you see a change in their activities. They're burning police stations down. They're shooting. I saw at least 3 unarmed people shot today on YouTube. It seems to be their purpose is to foment chaos and to destabilize the East. So they're not.
You see that, foment chaos and destabilize the East. They said on that show Get Smart that they would form the chaos and then come in with the solution. We know that's exactly what Esau's plan is, to do the order out of chaos. You got so much chaos going in that around the globe, all right, not just in America, that you have to bring in a new world order to put order inside that chaos. So that's what you guys were hired to do, man, to start this chaos over here in the East. All right.
Not really about stabilization.
Yeah, they're not about stabilization. That's not what they're hired to do. They're hired over there to fuck shit up.
Destabilization.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, contractors from Blackwater were accused of atrocities in Iraq. Why would a company with such a track record be invited onto Ukrainian soil in the first place?
Well, because they're not connected to governments. They don't feel they need to abide by international law. They are able to use extreme violence. We saw what happened in Fallujah. You saw a city decimated by these people. So I think that's when you want to have muscle that's not accountable, that's who you hire.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Western reaction now to the developments in Ukraine. We've seen some disturbing images of government troops opening fire at unarmed civilians during the referendum. Are we going to see any condemnation from Western states, do you think?
Well, as is the common practice when the U.S. doesn't like a vote that's coming up, they've already condemned it beforehand. The State Department issued a press release yesterday saying that it condemned this referendum that was being held by, quote, armed separatist groups. But anyone with a computer and an internet can see that the armed organizations are not the people in the streets. As I said, I've seen at least 3 people killed today. These militia were shutting down polling stations and shooting people. I think the U.S. State Department seems to be believing its own propaganda for some reason. It's funny that they did support an armed insurrection in Kiev where there was no election, but you do have protests in the East. They're trying to hold an election, the U.S. condemns it. Now, the circumstances are not great for the elections in the East, of course, but they will not be any better for the May 25th presidential race.
And just briefly, the US and indeed the EU have said they won't recognise the referendum results. Why does the opinion of all these people not count?
Well, the U.S. loves to support democracy, except when there's a danger of people voting the wrong way. Look what we saw in Egypt not that awfully long ago. You know, it really is a hypocrisy on the part of the U.S. government, and I think it's becoming more and more obvious to the rest of the world. It's damaging our reputation.
You see that? He said that it's becoming a hypocrisy. And they said that, and everybody is seeing it.
You know, it really is a hypocrisy on the part of the U.S. government, and I think it's becoming more and more obvious to the rest of the world.
You see that? And it's becoming more and more obvious to the rest of the world of what America is doing. They're hypocrites. They're liars, man. They're actors.
It's damaging our reputation.
It's damaging their reputation, which it is.
Daniel
All right? Now keep that in mind. Alright, that's basically, I only gotta read the article, tell you the truth. Alright, because I didn't even read it, tell you the truth. I just popped up, I clicked on the daggone video. I went to go find the video, I ain't read nothing. You know, the video says it all. This is about 400 elite mercenaries from the notorious U.S. private security firm Academy, formerly Blackwater, were taking part in the UK. That's what they'll do, right? See, Esau will take a private company, and that company might get sued for whatever reason, and that company might get put out of business. But then they'll come back, right? They'll make a new company with the same shit. You know, just like that situation with the chemical spill or West Virginia or whatever. You know, the company who was really behind the spill, they went down and got sued. They got put out of business, but then they came right back up under a whole new name. Same people, same shit. You know, or vice versa. Or so they wouldn't get sued, or some type of fact. Just like with the drugs, man. When certain drugs are going on the market and they go bad, they'll take the drug, or it might be the same drug, right? They'll take a drug. It might be like a all yellow. It might be maybe a white pill, or might be a white and purple pill, and then they might take something else and give it another twist to it, and then put it on the market as a green and white pill, you know, or another pill, you know. They might have the same effects, or they might just tweak it, man. It's the same shit, right? So these mercenaries are taking part in the Ukraine military operation against anti-government protests in the southeastern region of the country, German media reports. It's at a time the Russian Foreign Ministry said then that reports claiming Kyiv was planning to involve staff from foreign military companies to ensure the rule of law could suggest that it wanted to suppress civil protests and dissatisfaction. Like the guy was saying, you got a protest in Kyiv and when nothing going on, but then you got this referendum, this vote over there in the southeast Ukraine, and they send the mercenaries and niggas. They don't want to, because like I said, they don't want they're trying to stop prophecy, but you can't slow down prophecy, man. You can't slow down the prophecy. Once some ballots go in, and that line of Ukraine and Russia gonna go right back to one, man. Because of prophecy. I'm not gonna get it. I didn't get it, but you should know that's Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right, you should know that. All right, then let's go deal with that quote he said at the end. America's hypocrisy. The nations are seeing it, and they're getting a bad rep. All right. Look at Nahum chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not. So you see that? That's plain, right? The bloody city represents America. Alright? The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the prancing horses and the jumping chariots. Just talking about the military. When they roll in, just like on that scene in 300 when that guy rolled in, the slaves was carrying him and he had that whip in his hand. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of wheels and the prancing horses and the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up the bright sword and the glittering spear. So you see that? You see that? That'll be them. That'll be these mercenaries.
Well, we saw, for example, last week in Build, police stations down.
That'll be these.
They're shooting. I saw it.
That would be these mercenaries. All right, at least in this case. Alright, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses. You heard the guy say they were shooting people, alright, and there is none in of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. That hasn't happened yet, what's going to happen, but you see how it ties in. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, America, alright, the mistress of witchcrafts that sell up nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Now, what would be one of her main whoredoms? You heard the guy said that would be what they call democracy, man. Alright, that will be what they call democracy. It says, Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Meaning, America's skirts gonna get blown up. You're gonna see her nakedness, man. You gonna see the real America, man. You know, it's just like a woman. You take off all that fucking makeup. You see what she really look like, man. Oh, that bitch ugly. That bitch ugly as hell, man. You know. It says, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vow, and I will set thee up as a gazing stock, man. So you see, that's what you do the whores, man. That's what you do the women. Alright? I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vow, and will set thee as a gazing stock. I will tell you what gazing stock. I'm not saying something good up in the gazing stock. Of looking at appearance, seeing a sight, appearance, sight, a spectacle. Ah, that's right. The Lord should set thee up as a spectacle, man. We are a spectacle out there in the highways and hedges. The scripture said we are a spectacle, man. Anything presented to the sight of you, especially something of a striking or impressive kind. A public show or display. So the Lord will make a public show or display out of America, man. Look at that. Especially on a large scale. Especially on a large scale. Let's check that out. Alright. Especially prepare or arrange display. Hey, you can't get no sweeter than that. Can't get no sweeter than that sight. The Roman games. Alright, a public show. Alright. Scope means a watch. Scopeo. Alright. A gazing stock. A spectacle, man. Public show. Seen by a lot of people. And and we're gonna, as a matter of fact, the scripture's gonna tie right into it, man. That's right. That's right. Isaiah 47:1, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." That would be talking about America, because America, so the virgin hasn't been touched. You see, every nation then got some type of quail going on. America ain't got nothing going on. Alright? Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.